Do you like tattoos? Cheerleading? How about touching stories that warm the cockles of your heart? If any of these things appeal to you, sit tight. Have we got a show for you? Hello and welcome to this edition of the Journal. I'm Jose Taboada.
And I'm Phil Mitrovic. In today's episode, we'll be taking a look at a wide variety of stories ranging all the way from magical card games to organ donation.
That's right, Phil. We're going to kick off the show today with a story about a family of Vietnamese boat people that recently immigrated to Canada.
This family risked their lives to get here and are forever grateful of the opportunity that they've been given.
Get your tissues ready. This story will tug on your heartstrings. Let's take a look.
Between 1975 and 1995, after the Vietnam War, more than 1 million Vietnamese fled the country in small boats, seeking asylum in neighboring countries. Many of the refugees failed to survive the passage, facing danger and hardship from pirates, overcrowded boats, and storms. From refugee camps in Southeast Asia, the great majority of boat people were resettled in developed countries, more than one half in the United States. Several tens of thousands were repatriated to Vietnam, either voluntarily or involuntarily. After 8 years of persuasion, the Canadian government finally approved to accept 105 Vietnamese refugee families who were stranded in Thailand without legal status for more than 25 years. The Lam family is among the refugee families who came to Canada on November 25, 2014.
Đầu tiên là đáp xong máy bay xuống tại Vancouver. Ôi, cái thời tiết nó lạnh mà nhìn cái khung cảnh bên ngoài, mọi người họ đối xử với nhau đích thực là một đất nước tự do. Mà từ hồi xưa đến bây giờ, mọi người đi vượt biên ai cũng đều mơ ước để được đến cái đất nước freedom này. Thiệt là một cái làm cho tôi xúc động ngay cái buổi ban đầu mà tôi đến đất Vancouver. Tôi rất xúc động. Nhưng mà khóc thì không dám khóc ra để mà nó chảy nước mắt. Sao mọi người họ cũng cười mình.
Mình rất vui. Khi lên tới máy bay đấy thì con bé nó hỏi mẹ, chắc mẹ mình đi Canada thật rồi. Với mẹ em nói mình đi thật rồi đó con. Rồi em cũng mừng. Khi bước xuống phi trường Vancouver đấy thì cả nhà cùng khóc.
Mình không có nghĩ rằng mình sẽ được đến đất nước Canada này. Mơ ước chỉ là mơ ước thôi. Vượt biên để đổi lấy cái sự chết. Để được thấy cái đất nước tự do, nhưng mà rồi rớt thanh lọc là thất vọng vô cùng. Người ta thường nói là hết cơn bỉ cực đến hồi Thái Lai thì sau cơn mưa thì trời lại sáng thôi. Mình nghĩ là như vậy. Có một cái ý nghĩ đơn giản như vậy mà mình cứ để trong đầu mãi và cứ gắng tiếp tục mà sống. Rồi hy vọng có một ngày nào đó rồi mình cũng phải được nhìn thấy cái gì mà mình mơ ước từ hồi xưa đến nay, trao đổi bằng cái vượt biển. Nhiều khi vượt biển mình không biết là sống chết ra sao, nhưng mà đổi lại lấy cái sự chết mà để nhìn thấy một cái tự do như thế này thì rất là thú vị. Không tưởng tượng nổi, chính mình cũng không tưởng tượng nổi. Thì tôi cảm ơn ông Bộ Di trú Canada để ký nhận nhân đạo chúng tôi được vào đến định cư trong Canada này.
Em sống ở đây cũng hạnh phúc. Cảm ơn Canada rất nhiều. Cảm ơn những người bảo trợ cho tụi em qua được tới bên đây. Hy vọng là cũng sống ổn định bình thường thôi, cho con cái thôi, cũng đi học cũng thành người này nọ. Rồi em cũng đi làm bình thường.
Được hết cái không khí đất nước tự do thật là tuyệt vời. Canada lạnh, nhưng mà cái tình của họ đem đến cho tụi tôi rất là ấm áp. Cảm ơn đất nước Canada rất nhiều đã cứu mang những người bất hạnh giống như chúng tôi đây.
And thank you very much to Mr. Prime Minister. You saved my life and my family. Thank you very much. And thank you, Canada.
It's amazing to see how thankful people are to be living in a country that many take for granted. Really puts things into perspective.
Absolutely. You know, my mom and dad, they came to Canada in 91, 92, and they've been happy since. Really, you know, my dad's brothers also came, and they're also thankful as well. So to have that opportunity to live here, I'm forever grateful, to be honest.
Great.
But now we're going to switch gears for a lighter topic. For centuries, people have been decorating their bodies with permanent ink. Sometimes these markings have deep meaning. Sometimes they're just nice to look at.
And sometimes they leave people with years of regret.
That's right. Today we're going to be talking about tattoos. Lance Castle followed one girl's journey as she got her latest ink edition. Let's check it out.
The tattoo shop can seem like a pretty intimidating place for those of us with little experience in the world of permanent body art. Tattoo enthusiasts are very serious about their interest, and that makes sense. In most cases, the pieces they acquire last forever. Throughout history, the significance of tattoos has varied from culture to culture, from demarking social status to granting luck and protection to being a symbol of religious piety. Nowadays, however, the meanings behind tattoos are often more individual and personal. I had the opportunity to accompany Amy Park, tattoo enthusiast, to Chronic Ink, where she's going to be getting her next piece done. She was able to explain her mental process behind getting a tattoo, as well as some of the thoughts and feelings that she's had on her experiences.
It feels so good. To get a tattoo done is a very soothing feeling. I think I have spent maybe $2,000 on tattoos. This is the second time I've gotten a tattoo here. So the first time I got a tattoo, I was assigned the artist I'm about to see again, and he did a tattoo on my other arm, and I was really happy with the results. So I decided to stick with him again because I know his work now and I know that it's good. It's kind of like gaining a new experience. It's gonna help, I guess, make you who you are. It was the first time I was on my own with my friends, so that gave me some sort of confidence to finally do something that I really wanted to do for myself that my parents didn't want me to do. And yeah, all my friends came and I got a small tattoo on the inside of one of my fingers. And it says Seoul, which is where I was born, Seoul, Korea. It's really faded right now. Finger tattoos don't adhere to the skin very well because you use your fingers with so many things like washing and just everyday use, so they never stay on. But I think there's like a term to it that I really like about it. I always knew that I was interested in tattoos, and I really appreciate people who did have tons of tattoos. My second tattoo I got when I was in college because I was having a really, really hard time, and I had a favorite quote that was helping me through my experiences, and I wanted it to be in Swedish, so I got my godmother to translate it for me right before she passed away, so it has a lot of sentimental value to me. In English, it is translated to "The shadows of this life are caused by our standing in our own sunshine." Tattoos appeal to me because for me, they mark the experience or the reflection after an experience. Sort of like marking each phase in your life. Tattoos are a way for me to put put them down permanently as a part of who I am so that I can always remember them. I do not have a favorite piece. They're all kind of my favorite for different reasons. Each part is just equally important to the whole. So they all have equal importance to me just for different reasons. There's not like one that stands out. Like there are definitely moments where I'm just feeling the need to get a tattoo because it's so exciting to mark your personal journey. I think mostly it's when something feels as though it's come to an end, come full circle, and it's just like this is time to recognize this past.
So in the end, Amy ended up with a great piece of art on her skin, and I walked away with a bit more knowledge about what goes on inside the mind of a tattoo enthusiast.
That just hurt my skin watching that, Phil.
What, are you afraid of a little needle?
Phil, you're getting pricked 3,000 times a minute. And imagine an entire tattoo, you do the math.
Well, I guess you have a point there.
Damn straight I do.
Next, we have a piece about a magical card game. The game mixes playing cards with trading cards, and it's been around for 22 years and has millions of people addicted to it.
And afterwards, we have Timmy, the star of this piece, coming in to teach Phil and I a little bit about the game and to see how far she's come with her set of skills since the documentary was filmed.
Also, stay tuned as we still have a lot more for you to see. We're going to take a look at a special needs cheerleading team that's based in Markham, as well as a story about a charity that encourages organ donation and stands behind the cause.
All right, Phil, you ready to watch this?
That I am.
All right, pay attention, man, because we don't want to look like fools in front of Timmy.
Got it.
Okay, roll it.
I've never seen a holographic land.
You know what?
That's funny.
You're just jealous because I have a holographic land.
Did you spend money on it? Or
No, I just got it in a pack.
Nice.
You're just jealous. Y'all are just jealous. Okay.
So somewhere in Asia around the 9th century, some guy was like, hey, let's put numbers and symbols on these slabs and make a game out of it. Eventually it started taking off as word hit Egypt, who started making their own card games in the 11th century. Then to the more common four-suit cards being created in Europe in the 14th. A lot has changed since then. Everyone wanted a piece of the action, creating their own card games, each time getting more complex, more rules. With more card games than anyone can count, and a new one coming out every month, it's impossible to know where to start. But there's one game that stands out. Magic the Gathering. Enter Richard Garfield, a nobody from Philadelphia who thought, why not mix the fun of trading cards with the fun of playing cards? He sold his idea for Magic to the Wizards of the Coast. You know, the dudes who invented Dungeons & Dragons. It's been around for 22 years now, with over 16,000 cards, 12 million players, 70 countries, and 9 languages. I think it's safe to say it's the biggest. The game hasn't changed much since the 90s. However, myself and a few other players have planned to do the impossible. To build a Magic player. To take someone who knows nothing and have them train with the best to create an unstoppable machine. An impending doom amongst games. A symbol of no hope to opposing players and evil force with only one goal. To win.
I would lower them one.
Well, each of them represented by one different color that revolves around white, red, black, blue, and green. Total is 29, 13.
That's cool. What creature is that? I'm Timmy. I am a student in broadcasting and film at Centennial College, and I just started playing Magic.
So for example, say I wanted to play this this guy. He's a creature, human warrior. He costs 1, so I would tap that, and you'd be able to play them?
Well, it wasn't really a choice. I was kind of forced into it. Ooh, white and green.
This is how I usually make a deck. So you start with your lands first. So now you go through and kind of look at what you have. So you know, put creatures in the middle, your enchantments over here, artifacts over here. Group the cards down on the table that combo.
Okay, so you have these things called land cards, right? And they're what you use to pretty much pay for all the other cards. The type of land is seen by the huge symbol on the front. It's important to remember you can only bring out one per turn. The other cards are creatures, enchantments, artifacts, sorceries, instants, and planeswalkers. But that one's not important right now. First, let's take a look at creatures. This is your main line of attack and defense against opposing players. The type of card is written in the middle, and the cost is at the top. You'll notice that the color of the cost corresponds to the type of mana you'll need. There is also its attack and health, represented by the bottom numbers. Next, we have instants. These kind of work like a trap. Just when your opponent thinks they have the upper hand and they're gonna win, surprise! Pay the mana cost and follow what the card says. After that, we have sorceries. These kind of work like an instant, but they can only be played during your turn, as long as you have the mana cost for it, that is. And finally, we have enchantments. These attach to creatures. Let's say, for example, you're playing and you're like, I want my creature to be stronger than it already is. Well, you're in luck. As long as you have the mana to pay for it, you simply place the card under your creature, implying that besides whatever the creature already does, it also has this effect. To use the mana, you simply turn it to the side, implying that it's used. This is known as tapping. You can only turn it back when your turn comes around again.
So Timmy, now it's time to make your own deck. But unfortunately, I don't think I have the experience to do this, but I know someone who I brought in who is a master at Magic. He's going to help train you and coach you to build your own deck. Are you ready for him? He's a little bit intense.
Intense?
I am here to train you to become the best Magic player there ever was. How many cards? Mostly depends on your play style, but the ideal number of cards is 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want your deck to be a mean, lean, mana drawing machine. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18. You put tokens in the deck? It's because you have a card that gives you tokens doesn't mean you literally put them in the deck! You'll have 20. What you do disgusts me. You will need a few lightning strikes in your deck. My name is Samuel J. Flatman. I've been playing Magic since, I believe, grade 10, when I was first introduced to it by my good friend Jared. At first I thought it was very silly and a waste of time. But then I gave it a shot and it just became very, very addicting, and I just couldn't stop playing. I think she will. I actually think that she will become a great Magic player once I'm done teaching her, if she fully grasps and understands the concept of what each card does for each other. If you can balance out different types of cards and strategies, she can become a great Magic player. Are you ready?
Yes.
I just played a round of Magic. I was using my casual mill deck, and Timmy was using a white.
And it gets +4/+4 if a opponent has 10. Pass turn.
It was close, very close. I had 7 life left, so.
Yes, I lost, but at least I get to have fun playing it with my friends. It's gonna be fun. Maybe one day I'll destroy someone at some point.
Okay, Phil, I'm totally confused. What about you?
I swear I was paying attention. I don't know.
That doesn't answer my question. But the question that we have is for Timmy Gonzaga right here. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So what was your inspiration to do this documentary?
Our group mates, Kaylin, had this idea that we should follow someone who has not played Magic and to try to build a Magic player to see if I could defeat a skilled Magic player.
Okay. Since filming that documentary, how far have your skills progressed, and do you plan on continuing to learn more about the game?
I'd say they've progressed well. I mean, I'm very comfortable with the rules and and how the game works. It's just strategies I'm not fully comprehending. But yeah, I am planning to continue further with this game because I've already invested my own money into improving my deck.
Mm-hmm. That's dedication. Now, we saw you facing Nathan. How did that go, and what did you learn from it?
Well, typically a game of Magic, you lose when you can't draw from your deck anymore. But what his deck did is he made me discard half of my deck.
Oh!
That quickly destroyed me.
Wow, that's rude. Holy smokes.
I have a question here. I have 2 different cards, a creature card and a sorcerer card. What's the difference between those? Do they mean anything?
Well, yeah, the creature you could play to help attack and defend you. Sorceries, you could use it on your turn to either affect you or the other player or your creature. And, it could help you win your battle.
Mm-hmm. Now, last but not least, in the documentary, we actually saw Jared and Sam, who were here on the journal a couple weeks ago. Did they give you any advice? And if they did, was it good or not?
They helped me build my deck and helped me balance it to make sure I don't have too much of one thing, too much of the other.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, and my final question is, the game's called Magic the Gathering. I just wanted to know, do magicians like Chris Angel or David Blaine play this game?
No.
Okay then. Well, Timmy, thank you so much for being on the show. We wish you further success with the game of Magic. Take care.
Thanks again for having me.
No problem. And Phil, what's next?
Up next, we take a look at a special needs cheerleading team, and
the folks at Dynasty Cheer in Markham wanted to expand their gym in a new way, as many children with special needs often feel excluded from activities that people around them are involved in. The coaches thought, what better way to expand than to form a team for those kids?
These kids show us that they can do anything that they put their minds to. Let's take a look.
Okay, when you do your stuff, Dynasty is led with Champions Elite Magic! Woo! Magic Dragons is a special needs team with a variety of athletes, from Down syndrome to ADHD to fetal alcohol syndrome. A lot of these children have background from cheer, and they just came here to experience a different gym and have a little bit of a stronger background in cheer. 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have a cousin who has special needs, Down syndrome, so that's what made me interested in a special needs team. Better, but see, you have to be in a straight line. We started the team because, well, I was interested in trying to expand the gym in a new way, and we wanted to try to help out people that had a disability that you couldn't really go for other teams, so we wanted to give them an atmosphere where it was fun, energetic, and they still got a chance to perform and felt like normal people. So we have some new athletes that are coming in. They're both adorable and fun and energetic. And we have a veteran who has been doing dance since she was 2 and cheer for 5 or 6 years, I believe. All bring something different into the team. Like we have one who's super energetic, loves to stunt, who's crazy, and then we have one who likes to dance. So they each bring a different aspect in, and they're unique in their own way, which makes us it works together. Awesome, but no dancing at the end.
Oh, okay.
I should be landing like this or like this.
Okay.
One of the two. Take your pick. Take your pick. I continue to coach them because I just love it. Like every Saturday I get up, I'm ready to go. I'm always thinking of new ways we can evolve the routine to make it better, to highlight their talents. Like today we had a new athlete get a new skill, and now I'm thinking of ways of I can incorporate it in. So this just kind of motivates me to continue this, and everyone has fun.
I like Lattes because they are really good.
Amanda is in her 7th year of cheerleading. She's a very active person. Amanda will try, as you saw earlier, she will try to do a skill, and she will continue until she gets that skill. It took her 5 years to learn how to properly do her cartwheel, and it's just this year that she's actually perfected the cartwheel. So now she's working on her back walk over, still working on her back walk over. She has now done a handstand several times, not to perfection yet, but she has done it. We find that with her doing her cheerleading, it helps to improve her gross motor skills. It gives her time to work as a teammate. She does solos. She's done a duo for the first time this year, and she also works on the team. She loves to perform. She has the best cheer faces ever.
Definitely different. I find that they're a lot more affectionate and they're a lot more grateful for it. Like I've coached a non-special needs team and they were kind of just like, yeah, cool, thanks for the routine. But here they're always giving me hugs, they're always saying thank you, they're always enjoying themselves. So they're just a lot more energetic and more grateful for this opportunity. This past weekend, I almost cried because I was so happy of how well my athletes did. They had 7 practices, so technically a week to learn a routine, and they did amazing. It was the best feeling ever.
That was awesome. Mercedes looks like she loves what she's doing, and the kids just as well.
I totally agree. Those guys killed it in the end.
Yes, they did. Truly inspiring. Now, sadly, we are on to our last piece. This is a story about an organization who's doing everything they can to raise awareness about organ donation.
Their goal is to raise the donation rate from 17 to 50%. It's a pretty massive goal, but I'm sure with hard work, they'll eventually reach their target, and who knows, maybe even surpass it.
Yes, indeed, Phil. Every year, 1,600 Canadians are put on the organ donation waiting list. As a result of the lack of doctors, too many people end up passing away while on that list. Let's take a look at how this organization is trying to make a difference.
The city of Toronto became the best city to live in because of the 44 wards, not the other way around. Everything else you can say Toronto leads the world, but in organ donation, we're at the bottom. We need to get the organ donation rate from 17%. If we reached 50, then Toronto would probably lead the world. For like 3 decades, it's been an issue. It's been a crisis now for 3 decades that hasn't been solved, hasn't been addressed. Well, it's not any one thing that's contributing. It's a few different things. 3 key things are people are very busy in their lives, and so even though they want to be organ donors or they're in favor of being an organ donor, they're not getting to that next step by registry. The second factor is there's some people that still have a bad feeling to register, thinking that if they register, then something bad's going to happen to them. They might curse themselves. There might be a curse. And there is quite a few people that fall in that department as well. So it really is superstition. The third factor is that people feel that if they do sign up and they do register, that the doctors would rush to their death. Like, in other words, they think that doctors would declare them dead and not try and save them because they want their organs donated. We just couldn't depend on having people register just by asking them to register. It's not enough to get people's interest to do that. It's, I want to say, for lack of a better word, boring or not interesting enough to get people to do that. So we had to create something that would have been interesting and that would have get people to want to do it and be excited to do it and enjoyable. And that's where we came up with the idea of showcasing all 44 wards. And while we're showcasing, to get people registered through the showcasing.
He was looking for an illustrator to do something similar, but at the same time, bring something different to his own project. And so that's when I actually got to meet George, and we discuss, the goal and the vision. And I got an understanding for what he wanted to do. And it seemed like a great cause to me, and he seemed like a dedicated person that has been doing this for a while. And yeah, I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Well, the Toronto Challenge, the name and this project actually started only 2 months ago or 3 months ago in December, So the project itself is relatively new. The ideas and concept, we've been at this for quite a while, so it's been more than a decade. It's been almost 15 years that we've been. Now, we know from our previous projects, when we do things like torch walks with the famous torch. Torch walk is, we use our famous Torch of Life, which is an Olympic-style torch. It was anonymously given to us. And basically, I needed a torch to represent the walk that I was doing across Canada back in 2000, when I walked across Canada, and this was it. And through my walk, there was over 1 million people that carried this torch. And it was also received and blessed by Pope John Paul II, who blessed it at Vatican City in front of 100,000 people. And he called organ and tissue donation a genuine act of love. And there was hundreds and hundreds of media cameras all over the world that covered this event. So it was huge. And it was really the first time that organ donation had a world audience, had an international audience. And, the message was clear that organ donation now became a global issue. And so the Pope also said some very important words about this torch and what the legacy or what the mission was. He said to let the children carry the torch because they can change the world. And by children, he meant young people, students. And that's basically what we've been doing the last 15 years is we've been having young people carry this torch.
I never thought that I could be on the donor list, but now I'm feeling a little different.
I hear you, Phil. So many people can benefit from just one donor. It's definitely something to consider due to the fact there are not a lack of doctors, but lack of donors.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of today's show. Tune in on Thursday and Friday for the last 2 episodes of the season.
Yes, this is the last episode that we as a class are hosting. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for tuning in. And signing off, I'm Jose Taboada.
And I'm Phil Mitrovic.
And this was
The Journal.